Simon from WhatCulture here, and TNA has been going out of business for years, according to the internet. But recently, with stuff like lawsuits, it kind of looks a bit more realistic than ever. But if you ever had the thought that TNA should die, you're wrong. Why? Here's why. Now, this isn't about whether you think Impact Wrestling is any good or not. Hell, I'm 99% sure that if I polled a lot of you, you'd all tell me you hated Monday Night's Raw. You don't want WWE to go out of business. And if you do, you're a bit crazy. And besides, it's better to exist than not exist, because if you exist, you can get better. So existing is pretty good. When it comes to TNA, yeah, they've had their ups and they've had their downs. You see what I did there? Tying it into ups and downs that I host on Tuesdays about Raw on WhatCulture Wrestling. That's good then, right? That was good. Anyway, from the high points of the 2000s to the not so high points when they left Spike TV, they've gone through some troubled times. And is this because of management? Probably. A lot of people are keen to point the finger at Dixie Carter. But I'm not here to do that today, because I don't know for sure. What I am going to do is underline why it's so important that TNA doesn't go anywhere. In 2016, the WWE is too big to actually ever have a proper rival. They've become the name that is synonymous with the industry. It's like those guys that come up to you and go, "Hey man, do you watch UFC?" And they don't mean UFC, they mean MMA, but UFC has gotten so big that's how they refer to it. And it's the same with the WWE and pro wrestling. Vince McMahon's brand of wrestling sits on top of them all. And whether you like it or whether you hate it, they're an extremely successful publicly traded company now. So the only thing that's going to knock them off their pedestal is like an earthquake, or a volcano, or a tidal wave. Basically, you're going to need some earth act to stop them. This, however, means there's room for promotions below this. Promotions that can offer something different or a niche than what you see on Monday Night Raw. And sure, we've got New Japan, Ring of Honor, PWG, but that doesn't mean TNA Impact should go anywhere. In this case, more is more. It's not less is more, so whether it's TNA, Impact, or Billy Corgan's Dancing Circus, call it whatever you want, but the product, or the identity, or the structure has to stay around. For starters, it's proven in the past that it does have the capability to be the #2 promotion in the United States. While advertising was always an issue, and we're not going into that now, when they were on Spike TV, the numbers were pretty good and people would tune in and week out to watch it. Past successes don't mean you automatically deserve future rewards, but TNA has proven that when the stars align, they can do things right. Without them, we wouldn't have gotten Broken Matt Hardy or Ethan Carter III. Hell, who knows what would have happened to Samoa Joe and AJ Styles? They still would have hit the big time because of their talent, but their paths may have been completely different. TNA did help them. This is why TNA needs to sort out its issues and rebuild, because it can be a place to build the stars of tomorrow. Whoever does wind up owning it should probably hit the reset button massively, call it something different, start again. Literally, start again. But that's not the point. The structure and the foundations will still be there. The roster already in place has the potential to create gold. You got wrestlers like Mike Bennett and Bobby Lashley, who's really come into his own over the last few months, and proper names like Aaron Rex, Jeff Hardy, and Gail Kim. Then you've got Moose, Rockstar Spud, Jane Storm, and Cody Rhodes. And while his deal is a little more free and loose than the others, he's still affiliated with the product. He's still a name you can see on their TV. That's already a decent roster, and I haven't even name-dropped half the people on the card. If I did, it would just be more evidence that if TNA closed its doors tomorrow, it would be a real shame that these wrestlers didn't have a place to show off their talents. And they are on Pop TV. And Pop TV may not be the biggest television channel in the world, but TV is still TV, and it's good to be on TV, because that's how you get yourself out there. Exposure. TNA dying would be horrible, not least because of all the people that would lose their jobs. Even with all the nonsense that's surrounding it, the foundations are still in place, even if those foundations have been tainted beyond belief. But look at people like Billy Corgan, which is always a weird thing to say. But he's properly invested in the company and he wants to make something of it. And on top of that, the locker room apparently is completely behind him. And if you've got the support of your peers, you've got to be doing something right. Give him the ball. Let him run with it. He can't do much worse than what they've already done. He's doing all of this knowing what trouble it's in as well. A lot of reports say that TNA owe over $4 million. And $4 million is a lot of money, but you're not going to get involved unless you have a plan that you think is going to work. He believes, and I believe, in Billy Corgan, which is very strange because he's the lead singer of the Smashing Pumpkins, and here we are on a wrestling YouTube channel talking about Billy Corgan. I mean, what's next? What is it? Sting? Like the musician Sting's gonna come in and maybe he pretends to be Sting? We're going off on a tangent. Let's move forward. And I believe that plan exists. I think TNA can be saved. And if you're out there wishing it away, that's ridiculous. You should be wishing that it gets its shit together and gets back on track. Broken Matt Hardy showed what they can do when there's a glimmer of creativity. And if it all goes away, so does all of that. So let's look at it from the other angle, the positive angle, which, you know, I love to do, and get behind it and hope we can get more things like Broken Matt Hardy. Will it survive? I don't know, but I hope it does, because I like having TNA around, and I do think there's something to salvage from the wreckage. You've got to be in it to win it, as they say. So if they're not in it, they're not winning it, and I don't want to see a clothes sign outside their merchandise/office/HQ, or whatever that situation is. I don't want to see it. I want to see them prosper. I want to see them get to a place where they're successful again. I believe, you start believing. If we all believe, the power of believability may work. And it won't, because there's lawsuits and money involved, but that's all we can do. If it does die though, it's going to be a sad day for pro wrestling. I tell you that, and I tell you that right now. Now don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think about TNA's potential sale, and then like, share, and subscribe. You can even come follow me on Twitter at SimonMiller316. I'm Simon from WhatCulture, and TNA, I've got your back, even if nobody else does. Just don't start doing weird angles again, because then you're going to make me look stupid. Keep it on the straight and narrow. You and me, we've got this. I'll see you soon.
WCPW proudly presents True Legacy. Featuring a quarterfinal match from the Adam Pacitti Tag Title Tournament. Moss and Slater versus Mustache Mountain. Nixon Yule defends her WCPW Women's Championship against Kimberly in a street fight. The Mexican sensation El Ligero defends his WCPW Internet Championship against the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne.
It's true, it's damn true, believe me.
The local hero Joe Henry challenges the righteous killer Joseph Connors for his WCPW Championship. And for the first time on British soil, in front of 2,600 WCPW fans, the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle versus the grandson of a plumber, Cody Rhodes. True Legacy Part 1, Saturday, November 5th, 8 p.m., 4 p.m. Eastern. Part 2, Saturday, November 12th, 8 p.m., 3 p.m. Eastern. Or watch True Legacy in full and on demand on WhatCulture Extra from November 4th, 8 p.m., 4 p.m. Eastern.